And I always like to mention an experiment that was made in the University of South Florida. And this is an experiment that Dr. Bernie Siegel mentioned once. And he mentioned this experiment made with two groups of students that were studying acting. One group was asked to read the script of a comedy. The other group was asked to read the script of a tragedy. Before they read the script, they were asked to, they drew their blood to check their immune functions and stress hormone levels. And after they started to read the scripts, in a few minutes into the script, they drew blood again. And what they find out is that the students that were reading the script of the comedy had their immune body function um, increased. So their immunity was stronger because they were reading scripts that was making them laugh, that was making them happy. And their stress hormone level had decreased. And it was exactly the opposite for the students that were reading the script of the tragedy. Their immune body function went down. They were more vulnerable. And the stress hormone levels went up. They were more stressed out. They were just reading a script. How fascinating is that? Now, I'd like to have a quick look at a field of particular interest to me that's called psychoneuroimmunology, that studies the interaction between the psyche, between your mind, your nervous system, and your immune system. And in other words, something that you can use, which is how to be healthier. And that's really the study of the mind-body medicine, which I personally believe is the medicine of the future, making better use of your mind, of your body, of this connection so you can get healthier, happier. Really, what the psychoneuroimmunologists have found in the past couple of decades are two main pathways through which thoughts and feelings impact immunity. And the first one, you probably heard of it, which is the autonomic nervous system. That's part of your peripheral nervous system. That's part of your nervous system. And this autonomic nervous system is twofold. And the first one is the sympathetic nervous system, which is your fight or flight um, ability, which is something we're born with. It comes with a package. It's hardwired in you. It's you being able to respond to a stressor, to any danger that that you may face, whether it's a lion, whether it's a car driving towards you, whatever that is. What happens really when the sympathetic mobilizes all the body resources, you go into this fight or flight, and you turn into this amazing machine. Uh, your autonomic nervous system, just really think about it as the um, unconscious regulation of your organs, and will convey the sensory impulses from the blood vessels, the heart, and all the organs in the chest, abdomen, and pelvis through nerves to various parts of the brain. That's the information I was mentioning earlier. That's being brought back to your mind so it can be processed. And so when you're facing this danger, what's happening is that you unconsciously become able to deal with the situation, whether you have to fight and to confront the situation, or whether you need to run fast to get away from danger. And in order to do so, your body gets ready for it. And the flow of saliva will decrease. Your pupils will dilate so that you can see better. Your lungs will relax so you can take more oxygen into your body. Your heartbeat will increase. It'll start being faster so that you can really pump more blood into the muscles, because you will need your muscles. The digestive system, reproductive system, immune system will decrease temporarily so that you can really use all the energy that you need. And ideally, once this danger is gone, the second part of the autonomic nervous system would kick in, the parasympathetic response, which is this rest and digest. which is the relaxation response, the recovery response, which that's when your body says, okay, the danger is gone. Now it's time to slow down the breathing, slow down the heart rate, and it's time to recover. It's time for the reproductive system to take care of itself, the digestive system, the immune system, everything that for your body really to recover and to get better. The problem is in our societies, we have so many uh, stressors, we have so many things that stress us out that sometimes we get stuck in this sympathetic response, in this fight or flight. We have so many notifications coming from everywhere that we're sometimes unable to reach or to go back to what we'd call this level of homeostasis, this dynamic balance when you can your body takes care of itself. The second pathway is really the what we call the HPA axis, the hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis. The hypothalamus and the pituitary at the level of your brain. The pituitary is not really in your brain; it's slightly below. But what's important here for you to understand is that basically your thoughts at the level of your brain, your thoughts influence the release of hormones from the hypothalamus to the pituitary. And that regulates the chemicals in your blood. That regulates your endocrine system that we mentioned earlier. And why this is important is because really this hypothalamic pituitary response is very much connected to your immune system, to your feeding, to your sleep. Just take the example of somebody who's stressed out. Well, when you're stressed out, what happens is that the thought of stress at the cortical level, the thought of stress in your mind, generate this increased release of hormone that's called ACTH, adrenocorticotropin hormone, all the way to the adrenal cortex. And what is going to happen is that you will have this release of cortisol. You must have heard of cortisol. And what cortisol does is that it's going to decrease your digestion and it's going to decrease the effectiveness, most importantly, of your immune system. That's why stressed out people are sick more often. Interestingly, sleep deprivation also leads to the release of cortisol and also leads to a decrease of your immune system. And also, really, the hypothalamus is really what controls the autonomic nervous system by releasing these hormones. It's really about you understanding the physiological impact of stress on your body. So relax. If you're not stressed, you'll feel much better and you'll be much healthier. I bet you didn't know that. So what about we take it one step further and really to understand how you can not only impact your body but actually change the physical shape even of your brain. There's something fascinating here that's based on the concept of neuroplasticity. And what you're looking at right now is a topographic map of your brain, of actually your motor cortex on the left and your sensory, somatosensory cortex on the right. And this shows basically the space in your brain that is used to process the information coming from these different organs, whether it's the head, the arm, the elbow, eyes, nose, face. I'd like you to notice really that there's so much space that's being used, or at least a significant amount of space being used for hands and face, because there's so much information coming from these areas. And what's fascinating here is that this is not rigid. This can evolve. The vision is typically processed by the occipital cortex, which is the back at the back of your brain. However, somebody who's blind will still have occipital cortex that is engaged, that's still functioning, because it will change its purpose and will remain involved with the other part of the brain. If you were to God forbid, lose one of your finger, the part of the brain that was used to process the information coming from this finger will be recycled, will be reallocated to other functions. So just think about the possibilities in terms of behaviors, in terms of habits, in terms of the type of life you want. What if you were to get rid of some unhealthy or unwanted behaviors, habits, emotions? Your brain will be remapped because this learning, this experiencing would change the map of the brain and would change its chemistry. What I'm saying here is that this neuroplasticity gives you the opportunity to reinvent yourself, not only conceptually, but also physically. What of my trainer used to say, what the mind expects to happen tends to be realized. What it means and the reason why the mind, what the mind expects to happen tends to be realized is because of a key neurological principle. And the key neurological principle is that neurons that fire together wire together. I mentioned earlier these 1 trillion bits of information being processed every second. I mentioned these 85 billion neurons. And what it says here is that really when you have this idea, when you have this neuron carrying this piece of information saying, for example, I want to eat healthier. At the beginning, this signal might be weak, and this signal might have difficulties, being becoming a reality in your daily life, in your behavior, in the way you act. But eventually, as this information, this piece of information that says I eat healthier, is being transported over and over again by an increasing number of neurons, you have a neural network that's being formed, that's becoming stronger and stronger, and its signal is becoming stronger and stronger until it eventually takes all the energy from the old signal that used to say, I don't eat well, I don't care what I eat, it doesn't matter. And really, as this new signal that says I eat healthy becomes stronger and stronger, the map of your brain starts to change. And these thoughts start to change, and the image start to change, and the emotions start to change, and the behavior starts to change. And this is when you have an opportunity really to create a new reality. You have the answers at the cellular level. The reason why I was saying that your body and your mind are so amazing, because you are designed to heal at the cellular level. You're designed to improve. If you were just to trust in yourself, if we were just to allow this beautiful machinery of yours to really do its work, if you were allowing yourself to tap into the trillions of possibilities, if you were to allow yourself to tap into this really natural healing ability that you have, just imagine what could happen. So this is, I believe, just a call. Maybe it's time to reclaim your power. You have this amazing mind-body connection. That's well established, that's well documented. Your body and your mind are amazing. And you can influence this communication. You can change your behavior, you can change the emotion. You have this power, and it's time to reclaim it. On this note, I wish you a good day, a good life. I'll see you in the next video.